It was a crisp autumn morning, just before dawn, on the vast plains of Miller Farm in central Iowa. Sarah Miller, her face etched with the worry lines of a seasoned farmer, stood beside her husband, David, watching the first light paint the sky. The harvest was already behind schedule, and their small crew was stretched thin. For generations, this land had demanded relentless human effort, but now, a new kind of silence hung in the air, not of peace, but of an unspoken anxiety about the future of their livelihood. The sun rose, illuminating fields that needed more hands than they had. For Sarah and David, like countless farmers across the nation, finding reliable labor had become an annual struggle. Each planting and harvesting season brought the same challenge: too much work, too few people. The young generations were leaving for cities, and the experienced hands were retiring. The weight of centuries of tradition, combined with the relentless pressures of modern markets, bore down on them. They knew something had to change, but the path forward felt uncertain, obscured by dust and looming deadlines. 3 weeks later, the whispers of a revolutionary solution reached their ears. It wasn't a bigger barn or more efficient irrigation, it was something far more radical. At a local agricultural tech expo, they met Ethan, a representative from John Deere, who introduced them to a concept that seemed straight out of science fiction: an autonomous tractor. David, ever the pragmatist, was intrigued, while Sarah, more rooted in traditional methods, viewed it with cautious skepticism. Could a machine truly replace the nuanced eye and skilled hand of a human farmer? Ethan wasn't just talking about a concept, he was talking about a tangible reality: the John Deere 8R autonomous tractor. He described a machine unlike any they had ever seen, designed from the ground up to operate without a driver. The most striking feature? There was no cab. This wasn't an upgrade to an existing tractor, it was a fundamental reimagining of what farm machinery could be. Sarah and David stared at the images on Ethan's tablet, a blend of apprehension and wonder. This machine promised to fill the very gaps that threatened their farm's existence. The control mechanism for this groundbreaking machine was perhaps the most surprising detail. Ethan explained that the John Deere 8R was operated entirely via a smartphone app. From anywhere on the farm, Sarah or David could monitor its progress, adjust its parameters, and even send it new instructions. This was a radical departure from the familiar rumble and vibration of a tractor cab, shifting the farmer's role from driver to supervisor. The thought of managing a powerful machine from their pocket was both liberating and a little daunting for the Millers. The brain behind the brawn, Ethan continued, lay in its sophisticated navigation and perception systems. The 8R utilized an intricate network of GPS and computer vision technology. GPS guided its precise movements across the fields, ensuring optimal pathfinding and avoiding overlaps, while a suite of high-resolution cameras fed real-time visual data to its onboard computers. This allowed the tractor to detect obstacles, monitor its implements, and make critical adjustments, much like a human operator, but with unparalleled consistency and accuracy. It was a digital shepherd for their crops. After weeks of deliberation, fueled by their growing labor crisis and the compelling vision Ethan presented, Sarah and David made the leap. That spring, a John Deere 8R autonomous tractor arrived at Miller Farm. Its arrival was met with a mix of excitement and apprehension by the remaining farmhands, and indeed, by the entire local farming community. It was a stark, green monument to the future, sitting silently in their yard, awaiting its first command. The farm that had seen generations of manual labor was about to witness its most profound transformation. Their initial deployment focused on tillage operations, preparing the soil for planting. David, with Ethan's guidance, mapped out the first field on the app. With a tap, the massive machine sprang to life, its engine humming a deep, rhythmic song. It moved with an almost ethereal grace, perfectly straight lines appearing behind it, the soil turned with uniform depth and consistency. Sarah watched from the edge of the field, a strange mix of disbelief and awe. The tractor worked tirelessly, requiring no breaks, no lunch, no complaints. It was a silent, unyielding force. As the season progressed, the 8R's capabilities expanded beyond simple tillage. It was seamlessly integrated into planting operations, meticulously distributing seeds with a precision unmatched by human-driven machinery. Each seed found its exact optimal spot, thanks to the combination of GPS accuracy and sophisticated algorithms. This level of exactitude promised not just efficiency, but a potential for healthier, more robust crops. The promise of increased yields, once a distant dream, now seemed within tangible reach for the millers. Spraying, a task often associated with hazardous chemicals and precise timing, also became a domain of the autonomous tractor. The Aider could apply pesticides and fertilizers with surgical accuracy, minimizing waste and environmental impact. Its computer vision could even identify specific areas needing treatment, avoiding blanket spraying of healthy crops. This not only reduced input costs but also lowered the exposure risks for human workers, allowing Sarah and David to reallocate their limited crew to more complex, human-centric tasks on the farm. A significant win for both budget and safety. One of the most profound advantages of the autonomous Aider quickly became apparent: its ability to operate around the clock. Unlike human crews, the tractor didn't need rest, sleep, or meal breaks. It could work continuously, through the night, when temperatures were often optimal for certain tasks, or to catch up during critical weather windows. This 24/7 capability allowed the millers to accomplish tasks in a fraction of the time, dramatically increasing their productivity and giving them a crucial edge in a demanding industry where timing is everything. It never tired. The initial promise of the Aider, to combat the farm labor shortage, was being fulfilled before their eyes. With one machine, programmed and monitored by just one person, they were effectively replacing the work of an entire small crew. This didn't mean job losses for their existing, smaller team, but rather, it freed them up for specialized roles, maintenance, or oversight that still required a human touch. The tractor wasn't taking jobs, it was filling a void that had grown too large for their human resources to manage. It became the backbone of their operations. To understand the broader implications, we spoke with Dr. Anya Sharma, an agricultural robotics expert at the University of Nebraska. What the millers are experiencing is just the tip of the iceberg, Dr. Sharma explained. Autonomous tractors like the Aider don't just increase efficiency, they fundamentally alter the economics of farming. They offer a consistent, tireless workforce that simply isn't available in human form anymore. This isn't about replacing people, but augmenting human capacity and ensuring food security in a changing world. Her words underscored the tractor's transformative potential. The data from Miller Farms soon painted a clear picture. The autonomous tractor delivered unparalleled levels of efficiency and precision. Fuel consumption was optimized, seed placement was near perfect, and fertilizer application was localized, leading to less waste. These micro-improvements across hundreds of acres added up to significant gains. This wasn't just about speed, it was about doing things better, more accurately, and more sustainably than ever before. For the millers, it translated directly into a healthier bottom line and a more productive farm. The most compelling result for Sarah and David was the increase in their yields. Thanks to the meticulous planting, precise spraying, and consistent tillage, their crops were thriving. The autonomous tractor allowed them to achieve an optimal environment for growth season after season. It wasn't a sudden, dramatic spike, but a steady, reliable improvement that built confidence in their investment. This demonstrated that automation wasn't just about cutting costs, but about enhancing output, producing more food from the same land with less variability. A tangible return on their bold decision. Despite its immense benefits, the journey to autonomy wasn't without its hurdles. The initial high cost of the John Deere 8R autonomous tractor was a significant barrier for many farmers. For the millers, it represented a substantial investment, requiring careful financial planning and a considerable leap of faith. This cutting-edge technology comes with a premium price tag, making it inaccessible for smaller operations or those already struggling financially. It's a stark reminder that innovation, while promising, often demands significant upfront capital. Beyond the financial aspect, farmer adoption presented challenges of trust and training. Sarah admitted her initial hesitation. It's hard to trust a machine to do what you've done with your own hands for decades, she confessed. Farmers, often conservative by nature, needed to be convinced of the tractor's reliability and safety. Furthermore, operating and maintaining such sophisticated equipment required new skills, moving from mechanical expertise to digital literacy. Training programs and ongoing support became crucial for widespread acceptance and effective deployment of the technology. Another critical challenge was the existing farm infrastructure. Many older farms, built for conventional machinery, needed upgrades to fully support autonomous operations. This included reliable high-speed internet connectivity for data transfer and remote monitoring, as well as updated field mapping and boundary setting systems. The vision of a fully autonomous farm required more than just the tractor itself. It demanded a complete modernization of the agricultural ecosystem. It was a journey of transformation, not merely a product acquisition. The shift in the farmer's role was perhaps the most profound change. David, who once spent long hours in the tractor cab, now spent his time monitoring, planning, and optimizing. He became less of a driver and more of a data analyst, strategist, and systems manager. This evolution, while initially disorienting, allowed him to gain a bird's-eye view of his entire operation, identifying inefficiencies and making informed decisions that were previously impossible. The physical demands lessened, replaced by intellectual challenges. With the consistent, tireless work of the autonomous tractor, the Millers realized they could contemplate something previously out of reach, increasing the scale of their operations. Without the constraint of limited labor, they could potentially farm more acres or manage larger, more diverse crop rotations. This opens up new avenues for growth and profitability, offering a pathway for family farms to remain competitive in an increasingly consolidated industry. The autonomous tractor became not just a solution, but a catalyst for expansion and sustained prosperity. The implications for human oversight are still being explored. While the ADAR operates largely independently, a human presence is still vital for emergency intervention, complex problem-solving, and decision-making that requires intuitive judgment. The role shifts from constant, hands-on control to periodic monitoring and strategic guidance. It's a partnership between human intelligence and machine efficiency, where each brings its unique strengths to the table. The human element doesn't disappear, it evolves into a higher-level supervisory function, ensuring both safety and optimal performance. A year after the ADAR's arrival, Sarah and David's daily routine was fundamentally transformed. Early mornings were no longer spent coordinating a reluctant crew, but rather reviewing performance data and planning the next day's tasks from their kitchen table. While the sun rose, the ADAR was already diligently at work in the distant fields, sending updates to David's phone. They had more time for their family, more time for community involvement, and crucially, more time to think strategically about the future of Miller Farm. The relentless grind had softened. The change was not just for them, but for their children. Sarah reflected, "I used to wonder if our kids would want to take over a farm that demanded so much physical labor and offered so little in return for their generation. Now, with the autonomous technology, farming felt like a viable, even exciting, career path once more." It presented itself as a high-tech, data-driven enterprise, appealing to a younger generation accustomed to digital tools. The ADAR was securing not just the present harvest, but the very future of the family farm. The economic impact of autonomous agriculture is far-reaching. Let's compare the costs and benefits experienced by Miller Farm. On one side, significant initial investment and infrastructure upgrades. On the other, dramatic reductions in labor costs, optimized input usage, and consistently higher yields. The initial financial hurdle is high, but the long-term operational savings and revenue increases create a compelling case for scalability and sustainability. This shifts the economic model from volume of labor to value of technology. This shift represents a new paradigm in agriculture. It's a move from reactive farming, dictated by immediate needs and available hands, to proactive, data-driven cultivation. The autonomous tractor is more than just a piece of machinery. It's the centerpiece of an integrated system that promises to feed a growing global population more efficiently and sustainably. We are witnessing the birth of farms that are not only technologically advanced but also more resilient and responsive to environmental and economic pressures. It's a quiet revolution with loud implications. Of course, this technological leap raises important ethical questions. What happens to the roles traditionally held by farm laborers? While the millers found ways to reallocate their team, widespread adoption could lead to displacement in some areas. There are also questions of data ownership and security, as farms become increasingly digitized. These are complex challenges that society, policymakers, and agricultural innovators must address thoughtfully to ensure that the benefits of automation are equitably distributed, and potential negative consequences are mitigated. The path ahead for autonomous agriculture is one of continued innovation and adaptation. As Dr. Sharma noted, the ADAR is not the final chapter, but the introduction to a much larger story. We can expect further advancements in AI, sensor technology, and connectivity, leading to even more sophisticated and integrated autonomous systems. The evolution will include smaller, more specialized robots, and perhaps even fully integrated farm management AI that can predict and respond to conditions with minimal human input. The landscape of agriculture is far from static. Let's compare the impact. Traditional farming, reliant on manual labor, faces increasing challenges from rising labor costs and shortages. Autonomous farming, while demanding high initial investment, promises efficiency, precision, and scalability. It's a stark contrast that highlights the economic and operational pressures driving this revolution. The choice is often between maintaining dwindling, expensive human crews with limited availability, or embracing a technologically advanced, consistently available, albeit costly, automated solution. The gap is widening, pushing more farmers towards automation. The challenges faced by Sarah and David Miller are not unique to Iowa. Farm labor shortages are a global issue, impacting food production from vineyards in France to rice paddies in Asia. The success of autonomous solutions like the John Deere 8R offers a scalable model for addressing these challenges worldwide. It signifies a potential future where technology helps to ensure food security, stabilizes rural economies, and allows farmers everywhere to thrive, adapting to local conditions with intelligent, tireless machines. A truly global agricultural transformation. Back on Miller Farm, the fields are green and vibrant. The John Deere 8R is a familiar sight now, moving silently across the landscape, a testament to the Millers' courage and foresight. Sarah and David walk among their healthy crops, no longer burdened by the immediate, exhausting demands of manual labor. They are still farmers, perhaps more so than ever, but their tools and their approach have evolved. Their farm stands as a living example of how embracing innovation can secure a future that once seemed bleak. A new horizon for modern agriculture. The story of Miller Farm isn't just about a machine, it's about the enduring spirit of the farmer. It's about adaptability, resilience, and the relentless pursuit of better ways to feed the world. The John Deere 8R autonomous tractor has not replaced the farmer, but empowered them, allowing them to focus on strategy, sustainability, and the profound connection to the land. As the sun sets over their fields, casting long shadows, it illuminates a future where technology and tradition converge, creating a more prosperous and sustainable agriculture for generations to come. Let's look at the numbers. The adoption of autonomous tractors like the John Deere 8R can significantly boost agricultural productivity and efficiency. The roles on a farm are clearly changing. From hands-on operators, farmers are transitioning to high-level managers, a shift enabled by automation. It's about leveraging technology to maximize output and resource management. Autonomous systems bring a host of advantages to the modern farm, addressing long-standing challenges and opening doors to unprecedented possibilities. These benefits collectively contribute to a more resilient and productive agricultural sector. Despite the clear advantages, the road to widespread autonomous farm adoption is paved with significant challenges that need to be carefully navigated by farmers and technology providers alike. The story of the autonomous tractor is still being written, field by field, farm by farm. What began as a solution to a pressing labor crisis has blossomed into a vision for a more efficient, precise, and sustainable future for agriculture. The John Deere 8R is a pioneer, leading the charge into an era where technology empowers farmers to do more with less, ensuring that the critical task of feeding the world can continue, even as the challenges evolve. The journey of transformation is ongoing, shaping the very foundation of our food systems. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the heart of modern agriculture and the silent revolution brought by the autonomous tractor. If this story resonated with you, please like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to our channel for more insights into the technologies shaping our world. Your support helps us tell these important stories. We appreciate you being part of our community and look forward to bringing you more compelling content soon.